Hello, as I'm recording this, it is New Year's Day, so I wish everyone, of course, a great 2021. And let's start this off with a figure review. This is one I actually received for Christmas. This is the NECA Ultimate Ghostface action figure. Now, I had kind of mixed feelings about this figure going into it. I mean, I was really excited to get him and to try him out, but I had some concerns. First of all, there's the issue that, okay, so for those who don't know, Ghostface, very iconic mask. People believe, well, they associate it with the Wes Craven Scream series, but some people might think that he actually is like a product of Craven and a product of Scream. That is not true. Ghostface is actually the name of a costume created by Fun Lab that was used in Scream. So the thing with this figure is it's not really a Scream figure, so I knew, okay, that's going to be kind of limited in its props, among other things. But let me look in here. So I'm actually pretty decently okay with what we have. We got the voice changer, which I'm pretty surprised they let that slide, considering, I mean, that's Scream right there. We have the glow-in-the-dark mask, which is reminiscent of the Stab movie, which is a fictional movie in the universe of Scream that's like inspired by the events of it. We have the bloody Ghostface mask, which of course is a very iconic mask in and of its own. And we have this kind of zombie, like old looking mask, which is its own mask in real life too, and it also is used in Scream 4, which is the final one. Here we get a good little action shot of Ghostface. I apologize for the glare, it's just the material of these NECA boxes. It's gonna do that. I'm kind of disappointed we do not have a accessory for like a phone or something, but I guess like that would be too blatantly Scream, because you know Ghostface's whole thing is calling people and being spooky. In fact, in the first Scream movie, he was listed in the credits as simply the voice, kind of like how Michael Myers was originally just called the Shape. Let's get him open right now. Let's see how he is. So another reason why I was actually really interested in this figure is because I heard that this is part of NECA's move to have ball joints in their legs, which I'm very happy about because some of those NECA figures are very tough with articulation. Okay. We got his little tussle. Oh, that's an interesting material. That's not what I expected the coat to feel like at all. It's kind of elastic. It's actually stretchy. That's interesting. Okay. Well, let's just get him out for now. Okay, one of his hands popped out. Looks like he has two hands. Are they both right hands? They are. Wait, no, they're not. I'm stupid. Okay, so we have left hand. It's tiny, tiny hole. I'm assuming this is for the voice box or something. We got a bigger right hand, which of course is for the weapons. Okay, let's just take Ghostface himself out right now. Okay, so here we have him. Now, the thing with Ghostface also is this is, I mean, it's an iconic design, don't get me wrong, and I love it so much, but it's just such a simple design, and I mean, there's not really too much going on here. But then again, like, what could they do, really? I know Dead by Daylight kind of had their own incarnation of Ghostface, which had some interesting design choices. Personally, I'm not that big of a fan of how he looks, with all like the kind of belts and pockets. I like the more simple look, but again, just translating into a figure, it might not look super impressive. But what we have here, it's pretty clean. They hid the stitching in the back here so you can see those seams, which you're likely not really going to see those. You're going to mostly be taking photos from the front. I want to take a look at these strands right here. So these look pretty clean as well. These are a little chunky right here, but what have you. And let's see this one. Let's see. Are they identical? They look identical, which is fine. I like how these ones look. These ones look a little weird, I think, just because it's kind of a chunky part right there. I'm curious what he looks like underneath this robe. So I believe we can take this whole thing off. I had a lot of difficulty with NECA joints in the past, and I found out of a strategy to loosen them up. What you do is, it's the same thing you do with the Godzilla tails for NECA. You just heat up a bowl of water and you drop him in there for a bit. So I did that to him while the robe was off. And let's take a look here. Still can't get over this. I mean, honestly, like, what else could they do with Ghostface without his robe? I mean, at least you got that there for the ladies. But yeah, it's just really funny. Just seeing like that really basic. He looks like the criminal from Detective Conan or something. Anyways, as for the limbs, again, just not really much that they could do with such a simple, plain design. But I think for what it is, it's pretty well done. I mean, I like the detail on the ruffles of the sleeves. You can see the seams of the jeans, which is nice. And the shoes, yeah, those look like shoes, all right. You can see the sculpt line there, which is like whatever. I like the detail of the silver right here. Yeah, I mean, they did what they could. Let's take a look at the head. So, NECA put out another Ghostface before, the retro something. I forgot what they're called. I really was not a fan of just the look of that one. I thought the eyes were way too small. It honestly looked more like the Scary Movie Wayne's Brothers parody of Ghostface. But this, they nailed it, I think. I mean, again, it's just a really simple design, but it's nice and clean. And one thing that kind of bothers me is the neck. There's no joint there, but his head is actually really posable. And this hot water trick worked like a charm. If anyone has NECAs and they're afraid of breaking their joints right off the gate because they're so stiff, just do that. Get a big like mixing bowl or something. Plop it. Well, no, don't plop them in there yet. Get the big mixing bowl, fill it with water, heat it up, like, I don't know, microwave or something for about like a minute or two, and then just plop them in there. It was kind of hard to get all the water out of him because he has all of these crevices, but I just left him in the sun and now he's fine. And we got good movements, which is nice. I don't have to worry, hopefully, about these joints breaking because that can be a problem with NECA. The leg doesn't bend all the way back. This mold here kind of prevents that from happening, but honestly, why would you really need that? He's got really good flexibility. I was super excited to see these ball joints, and they're great. They feel really good. They're nice and sturdy. You can get him into some pretty crazy poses if you really wanted to. Even his legs have feet have pretty decent articulation. You can really swivel them around. You can make them go to the side. So which makes getting weirder poses like this probably a lot easier. I mean, I can't really do it right now, but yeah. So I'm pretty happy with the way that this articulation is. The ab crunch is a little weird just because he's kind of on the side, which I get it. He's always kind of leaning, trying to go for the kill. Head is great. All right, I think that's enough on that. You can see the gloves here. I mean, they're regular gloves, not really much that they could do. Let's take a look at the masks. So we have 3 masks, which is just great. Let's start with the bloody one. This is a classic. I wore this one as a kid. I mean, it's just the same exact mask, it looks like, just with blood on it. Not really much fancy that they can do with that, but I wouldn't really ask for that. This one, yeah, this one has texture, which is nice. It's kind of like old, decayed, zombified one. I like the detail, the shininess of the mouth. Just looks really cool. Because he doesn't have that, he's just plain. Which, I mean, that's accurate to the mask itself. I've never worn this mask before. I assume this is accurate. But yeah. And we have the glow in the dark, which maybe after the video is over, I can actually show you how this looks. I mean, I don't have a super fancy camera, so I don't know if it'll look that great, but I love the paint here. This looks great, and I assume that it'll look even better. No, there's a little bit of paint chippage there, unfortunately. Yeah, right there by the mouth. Hopefully that doesn't affect the glow too bad. NECA, I mean, their quality control can be all over the place. We got knives here. Got 3 different knives. We have, this one looks like his iconic knife. I mean, it's a knife, whatever. Again, it's just a knife. And this one actually looks just like a Michael Myers kitchen knife, which is interesting. So I've put the robe back on, and I'm really dumb. I forgot I had this hand right here, which this perfectly fits the voice box, as you can see. So if I can find a way to make him actually look like he's talking into it. It's kind of hard to see the joints obviously when the robe is on. But yeah, so that happens. Now one thing I do want to point out that's weird and kind of not really concerning, but it's just I don't really understand what they were thinking with this is so he has these two right hands and they're basically identical. The only difference really is that the one on the bottom, that hole is larger. And I've been trying to squeeze items into that first hole and it's just not really working. You can see the difference there. Just how this one looks a lot better, even underneath as well. This one might be a little bit tougher to see, but yeah, it's slightly larger, and I don't understand why they decided to do this. I mean, the little ones fit pretty nicely, but they also fit really well. In fact, they fit better into the larger hand. You see how nice and snug that is, and they come out, I assume, easier. Let's see. Yeah, this is just the better hand. I don't see a single thing that this could be useful for. I don't understand why they couldn't maybe have a left hand instead. It almost makes me think that this was supposed to be a left hand. Oops. And they just like forgot or something. I don't know. But I want to set up the scythe. So we're going to take this hand off. Like that. And put this one in. Okay. And see, I'm already losing track of which hand is the larger one. Oh my god. It's such a small difference. I believe it's this one. Let's do a test. Okay, pretty easy. It's such a... I want to say it's this one. I'm just going to probably toss the other one, honestly, if it's going to cause me this much confusion. Yeah, it's definitely this one. You can see the size difference a lot better on the bottom side. Okay, get this one out of here. Put this on here. Okay, that should be good. Okay. If any of you watching, if anyone is watching to begin with, has never seen Scream before, I highly recommend. I love all the movies personally. Wes Craven is a genius, the man who made Elm Street, and Scream is a really great kind of satire on slasher films, borderline parody, especially later on. Like Scream 3 is kind of about the way that slashers tend to sell out, which is ironic because Scream was kind of selling out. Because Scream was supposed to kill the slasher, and instead it made it kind of more popular than it ever was. Go figure. Okay, so I got it. I want to try to see, how can I make it... I'm trying to do a more dynamic pose with this. I'm not... Okay, so I will admit that posing with two-handed weapons is a weakness of mine. I'm just not that used to it. Like, I just built a model kit for Char's Zaku from Gundam, and god, getting him to hold his gun with both hands was just a nightmare. So I apologize if this is frustrating to more veteran people. I am not the best with this kind of stuff. I want to... Oh, this is kind of popping out now. Uh-oh. First of all, can we like... No, I think that's the most it's going to squeeze through this hand. Okay. I don't want to push it too hard. I don't want to make it stuck. Yeah, this is not very secure in this hand anymore. Maybe if I turn... Okay. There. So I'm trying with the more open left hand, and it kind of rests in there okay. I can't really get him to really bend it over his head like he's kind of swinging down. But just standing like this, he's pretty menacing. So, looks pretty good. We haven't taken a look at his other mask yet. We should do that now. See how fun it is to remove this scythe. Oh yeah, one other problem that I was experiencing is just since it's kind of hard to see his joints really through this, it is kind of hard to get them to stick properly. So this hand kind of keeps popping off. But it's not too big of a deal. It's easy to pop them back on. Now you can hear my cats meowing outside. Hooray. Anyways, this is a quick head change right here. And now the cats are growling. There we go. That looks great. Just looks really good on. I mean, it's kind of nostalgic for me because I did wear this costume once when I was a kid with the bloody mask and all. Looks solid on him. Just have to kind of... There we go. It'd be kind of hard with these NECA figures. I mean, they're... Besides, like, brand new joints, they tend to be kind of sturdy, so don't be too afraid of... Okay. Just the first time you ever do anything with NECAs, it's always going to be kind of... Hold on. You know what? I'm going to... I don't want my cats meowing through this whole damn video. Okay. I'll just be back, take care of them, and I'll pop this on in the meantime. Okay, we got that on. Right there on the hood. This looks great. Again, just props to this mask for having really nice texture, especially that shininess in the mouth. I love how that looks. And last but not least, come on. The glow in the dark. A lot easier than the other one to put on. Maybe I'm just loosening things a bit. Again, just right here is really striking, just that green. I mean, might just stop this and see if I can make it really glow. Oh, what's that? Oh no, what is that? Okay, I just noticed you're probably not going to be able to see here, but there's some stitching right there. You can start to see it now. Yeah, that's pretty visible, and I'm kind of worried about fraying it a bit, so maybe be a little bit more careful tugging on this right here. Anyways, let's go try to make this light up. Okay, I held him underneath a bright light for about 20 seconds, and man, that is a really nice glow. Let's see what he looks like with the hood on. Yeah, that looks great. But again, we have that paint damage there. Right there and right there. I was worried that affect the glow, and it does, but... Oh. Wait, no, that's just felt. Anyways, no, there is that one chip. You can barely see it right there. It's got a little beauty mark. But from far away, I mean, you really can't see it. This is an excellent glow. Obviously, it's a little fainter in person. It looks brighter on the camera because of HDR or something, but I quite like that glow. And as you can see, I got them all posed. I figured out how to put this hand really close to his face so it really looks like he's speaking into the voice changer. Final thoughts, I'm quite satisfied with this figure. I do have issues with it, but there really was no way around them. Number one big issue is the lack of like actual Scream props, such as, you know, maybe a phone or something that he can hold. But I understand this isn't a Scream figure. This is a Fun Lab Ghostface figure. I understand that. Another thing is just he has such a simple design, and I understand that. I think what they did with it is really, really great. But it's so simple, and there's not really that much detail to it. Not a lot of paint. I mean, the face is just white. But that being said, these other masks are really great, especially the glow in the dark. The glow in the dark paint is great. This texture is great as well. So where they could flex on the paint, they really did, such as in the scythe. Just that detail and how it feels is awesome. And yeah, there's not much else to Ghostface. He is now considered part of the Scream franchise. So again, he originally was not made for Scream. It was a actual Halloween costume, and that kind of works for Scream though, because the interesting thing about Ghostface as a slasher villain is he is not just one character. He is many, many people throughout the films. And the first Scream is excellent. I highly, highly recommend it. I know it's not really spooky season, but to me, any time is horror time. And the first Scream has a really great plot twist, which is, I will not spoil it if you do not know. It is excellent. It is great. It is super bold and very unexpected. And I mean, I love all the Scream movies. I'm a little concerned about Scream 5 because there is no Wes Craven. He is one of my favorites. God rest his soul. Love him to death. And yeah, I love horror films. I love them so much. I know that most everything I put on this channel is anime, but horror is like definitely my number 2, maybe even my number 1. And I'd love to maybe talk about horror films or something sometime, because that's just kind of a foray that I'm very comfortable talking about. But yeah, this was the Ghostface NECA unboxing Scream review. Oh my god, I did it again. Scream. It's not Scream, it's Ghostface. It even says it right there, Ghostface. That just shows you how attached to Scream that this costume is. I mean, it's a super iconic and simple costume inspired by the forgot the name of that painting, but you know the painting I'm talking about, the one that's always parodied. But yeah. And again, thank you to Steven Toy Reviews for the trick for loosening the joints with the hot water. I highly recommend anyone who's interested in NECA figures, please do that before you start trying to do crazy poses with them. You can break the joints if they're brand new. So again, you just get a bowl, fill it with water, microwave it, make it not too hot but pretty warm, and then just let them soak in there for a bit and then dry them off. With all that said and done, he looks great. He poses very well. I love the ball joints. And yeah, I'm happy with this figure. I would recommend him. Can't get him to stand up just because I have this. There we go. I recommend him. Yeah, there you go. So just a solid figure. I've got some more NECAs from Christmas that I'm going to review in the coming weeks. I got Evil Ash from Evil Dead 2, which is my favorite horror film of all time. And I finally completed my Godzilla collection, the final one that I was missing, Godzilla vs. Destroyer Burning Godzilla. So I'm super excited to share those with you. Have a great 2021, everyone. Thank you for watching.